All right, I'm going to work on a project here of where I'm going to make my own metal flask, aluminum flask, to replace my aging wooden ones that are slowly but surely being eaten away by casting damage. However, I want to be real clear as I'm starting this project. This is not the first time that I've done this, and I want to show you that this over the summer I actually made this which is just a modification of the 3D print of this, and this was primarily used to so that I could cast flower pots. I did not film that. I've made a total of 3 of those, but eventually I'll make another one, probably for a Christmas gift or 2, and I will film that. But anyway, I made that dedicated aluminum flask just for those projects. And basically what I did is I took the existing pattern, and I believe this is the original size of the existing pattern, made some modifications for registration points, and as you can see here, and then on this one I actually decided to put a Freeman metalwork on it. Now, it then occurred to me that while I had this bottom for the flask, I could actually use it as a replacement for my very first flask. As you can see, it is getting all sorts of chewed up, and that's what we've got here. And I've used this a time or two already, and it works very well. But I didn't film the manufacture of that part either, so I thought I would go ahead and run through and film this. I love the modular design of the 3D print in terms of being able to change size. What I did for both the cope and drag of the aluminum ones that I made, I kept all the dimensions the same except for the height. And that way, when all I did was change the height, then all the teeth printed out exactly as it needed to, and I didn't mess with that at all in changing any of the widths, just the height. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and ram this up. I'm going to need to do a total of 8. I'll film this first attempt, assuming it's going to be successful. If for some reason this very first one of the 8 doesn't end up turning out, then I'll film the second one. In case you're curious about the other part, and this is where it's going to fit. And basically, I will take that center section out, replace it with this, make 4 of these, swap out the middle section, make 4 of those. Then when it's all said and done, I'll drill some holes and put some nuts and bolts through them, and hopefully I'll have another aluminum flask. All right, so let's get started on this. All right, I'm going to actually turn on some music, and I've got a speaker, and I'm not going to be messing around with headphones and such. So from this point on, I'm going to mute. If you don't hear any sound, maybe I'll add some music or something that won't get me busted. And in case anyone's curious, on my Spotify playlist, looks like I'm going through a slew of Carpenter songs. So Who knows? Anyway, when you stop hearing stuff and it sounds like something cut out, that's why. Typically when I ram up my patterns, this will end up being on the bottom. Oh goodness. Cope, drag. I think it's the drag is on the bottom, cope is on the top. This ends up being the drag when I typically ram up my sand. But because of that curve, that 45-degree angle that comes up, this is actually going to end up being the cope and not the drag. And that's why I spent as much time as I did trying to make this as smooth as I could. And then there, I could probably still go, I may still go back and do some more here. So that's nice and level, because this is where I'm gonna put my pour basin and my sprue. And the reason for that is that I'm gonna have those mounds of sand in the drag that is gonna make up for that angle in the pattern. And I do not want that to be my cope with those suspended in the air hanging down, for fear that they may drop. It's a problem that I had a couple of times till I finally figured out how to do it when I was making my mold, my cast aluminum ingot mold. And so what I've learned is that whenever I have mounds of sand, same thing when I do the pot, the flower pot, I make certain that the flower pot, the mound of sand that fills up the cavity of the flower pot, is in the drag, not in the cope. And so that's why I spent as much time trying to smooth that out. All right, anyway, I'm going to clean this up and then flip this over and carve out those angles. Set this down on the floor. All right, so I gotta flip that over, and I want to make certain that that board's in place to keep everything where it needs to be. I don't think that my 3D print is going to actually move, but I've done this enough that I don't want to waste the time in case it does and it breaks apart as I'm trying to flip that over. So I'm just going to clean this up, put that board back up, turn it over, and we'll see how the cope rammed up. All right, I don't know if the camera is going to be at a good angle for this. When I do this, probably not. I need to bring this closer so I can get this other side. I apologize if that doesn't make for good viewing. I'll just edit it out if it's not. Alright, I'm going to see if the LEDs allow me to get a good view of these cavities. I found I had better luck if I try to put in an angle to that in the same way that we want to make certain we don't have any straight edges up and down in our patterns. I found that it lifts out of the sand with a much less chance of breakage if I put a slope in everything. So we'll see. So far it looks the way my other ones did. It's just a little bit bigger. I don't know if it's actually a whole lot bigger. I don't know if I've got that pattern. I'm going to see if I can find it for the larger portion of the flask. Let's see if I can dig that out. All right, here's the other pattern that I used. It's definitely longer, but it's not a whole lot more massive. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I don't think we'll have any problems at all. Now, I like to give plenty of powder in those holes, those gaps, so that when I pull the two halves apart, it lifts right out nice and clean, not grabbing onto anything. So I like to hit that with a little bit extra. Okay, now this part of the procedure, that was a little bit harder. That's a heavy flask full of sand. I should do more push-ups, I think. And I probably could have just picked it up upright, got it out, and then flipped it over. I could have done that maybe a little bit differently than I actually did. Anyway, I wanted to get it flipped over because, again, this is the half that I started with, and when I pull this up, it should leave those mounds of sand intact. Okay, and they won't be falling out. So here goes. This is the moment of truth. Do I have my camera right? Okay. The key to this is just trying to lift straight up until I clear those mounds. And in the previous molds, my pattern has stayed in the cope. So as long as it doesn't drop out, I should be okay. All right, here goes. Yeah, baby. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted that to look like. All right, perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'll take this off the table and clear the table, and then put the coat back on, and then cut some sprues, cut a sprue, and some vents. I think we're doing okay time-wise. I may want to switch batteries. We'll see. All right, I did have to swap out batteries. Goodness sakes, that battery in that GoPro got very, very warm, so hopefully it stays on as hot as it is, although as I finish this up here, it'll have a break time while I melt the metal before I film the... And yeah, the GoPro just clicked off, so hopefully what I just said came through. I'm thinking the GoPro might be a little too hot. Just real quick though, before the camera dies out another time, the music you were not listening to was Shadow King and the distinctive voice of Lou Gramm. This was a band that Lou Gramm was part of in between some Foreigner albums, and after his, I believe it was after his solo albums. Anyway, the guitarist I think was Vivian Campbell, previously of Dio, and then he left Shadow King to join Def Leppard. All right, enough music history. Let's get back to the task here at hand and get this pattern out. All right, bit of repair work to do right there. That's actually not going to be functional. Who knows? Maybe I'll even leave it for so that I don't risk messing something up. I definitely need to. Now I'll probably take it out. I'll probably leave that defect, take that out, because this is the cope. It's going to get inverted and put over the top. I don't want stuff falling into my mold, so I'll just let that fall out as I do the cleanup on this after I cut my my vents, my sprue. Oh, this is going to be an ugly one. Well, I'll see how it turns out, whether I end up keeping it or not. Fortunately, the music was going on when that came out, because I yelled out, "Ah!" I didn't say anything bad, in case any of my students are curious or wondering. I didn't say anything bad when that fell out. Again, that's just going to be cosmetic, but dang, I'm not a big fan, and I'm not going to try to put that piece back in there, because again, this is the cope. This is what's going to go on top. So I'll clean this up, cut my my vents sprue, and then flip it around and cut my pour basin. Bummer. Of course, the one that I happened to record. Well, if it turns out really, really butt ugly, I'll record the next attempt. All right, I wasn't paying attention when I tried to put that vent riser in. I put it too close to the cross section there, so I had to move it over. So that's where you saw me putting some sand back in and then trying to fill it up. Okay, so All right, that should do it. And right as I was putting that on, two things happened. Something fell out of the top of this, or out of the bottom, but something fell out of the cope, which I'm glad it did as I was bringing it over, so it shouldn't have fallen in anything there in the mold. And then the continuation of my playlist on Spotify, the music you should not be hearing is from Led Zeppelin 2. All right, I'll get this guy in position. Next time I turn the camera on, we should be pouring metal. All right, that looked like a good pour. For those scoring at home, the music we're not listening to right now is Tom Petty's Wildflowers album. All right, find out how this did. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That looks good from that side. And I'm guessing that's the piece that broke off when I was walking my way to put the mold together. All right, I'm gonna pick this guy back up, set him aside, dump the bottom first, and then we'll unpack. Ooh. I tell you, if I were to do a couple of these in a row, I would probably have left this intact. But I'm not going to be able to get to another one of these next week or something like that. But oh my goodness, because that looks so good. I could put the mold right back on there and then ram up the cope. And I wouldn't have to re-ram the drag. It's almost a drag to empty this drag. Oh, it is what it is. If it were in the summertime, I would have kept it. Using the camera always makes things harder, always having to double check to make certain everything's in frame. That's okay though. It's especially okay if this ends up being a keeper, which I think it's going to be. Oh, that's right, that crossbar. I can't dump that normal. Alright, it's as ugly as I thought it was going to be, but it is more than usable. I don't think the lighting's particularly good here in the shed. Looks like it's got a little defect there, which of course it did because the sand fell out. But that's on the outside, and that's purely cosmetic. There we go. There we go. All right. Let me move the camera out to the light. Now there may be too much light. No, I think that'll be okay. Anyway, there it is. And that's how those things go. So I'll make 7 more of those. And then after I get, well, I'll make 3 more of these and then 4 of the corresponding other side with the different middle part. And once I get that and it's ready to assemble, I'll come back and assemble. All right, woohoo. I love it when things work. Love it when things work. Thanks a whole bunch for watching. If you found this video entertaining, informative, or any such things like that in any way, shape, or form, please like and subscribe. Blessings.